Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Anuta, the Crochet World, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment my videos. And today we are going to do this beautiful phone cover and AirPod cover. Now I've made this AirPod with the same design actually, so these two are the same design, so you can have it in the same designs. With this AirPod cover, I've used my 3 mm of hook. So that's my 3 mm of hook, and I've made this one. And for this one, for phone cover, I've used 3.5 mm of my hook. Now the yarn is the same. I've used my cotton yarn here for both the projects, and with the flower as well. It's a white cotton yarn with the flower. Also, the phone cover, both the project I have started from the bottom. I've started this one from the bottom as well, and my AirPod cover as well. I've started from the bottom, and there is a little space there so that you can charge up your AirPod, and it goes well like this, and it's good. Now for this one, for AirPod also, sorry about this, also this hooks, I have used these hooks, but if you don't have these hooks, don't worry about this. You can simply make this band or a strap, and you can tie up that strap on this way, so that it will be all right. You don't need this. I was having it, so I just used this, so don't worry about this as well. Also, my strap is a little bit smaller. If you want a bigger strap, I will guide you into the video how to go for a bigger strap as well. And that's it. My whole project is this, and let's begin. Now I've used my cotton yarn, so I'm gonna use this yarn. I've used a coral color here. Now this one is 8-ply yarn, and this is a mixture of a cotton and an acrylic, so you can use whichever yarn you want. And I'm gonna make first the AirPod cover, and for this one I've used 3.5 mm of hook. So that's my 3.5 mm of hook, and let's begin. So let's have a slip knot here. And chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 chains. Now insert your hook into your second chain. This is your first chain, and insert your hook into your second chain and make a single crochet here. So grab your yarn. Now again yarn over and pull your yarn through both the loops, and this is your first single crochet. Do a second single crochet here and a third single crochet. Now to leave this space, chain up 2 here. 1, 2. Leave these 2 chains, 1 and 2. Leave these 2 chains and insert your hook into the chain after. After these 2 chains, you're gonna insert your hook and gonna make a single crochet here. Again into the next chain, 1 single crochet, and into the last chain 1 more single crochet. So basically you have done 3 single crochets, then chain 2, and then 3 single crochets. Now we are gonna turn our work like this, and we're gonna do our single crochets into the second side as well. But as we are turning up here, and we need to make this circle here, we are gonna chain up 1 here. So this is chain 1, and then insert your hook into your first stitch, first chain, and do your single crochet. Again into the second stitch, your second single crochet, and into your third stitch, your third single crochet. Now we are going to come up into this space of chain 2. So insert your hook into that space and make 2 single crochets here. 1 and 2. So you already have your 3 single crochets and then 2, so it's 5 on this side, and another into this 3 chains, make another 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we have done our 3 single crochets here, then 2 chains and then 3 single crochets, so it's total of 8 single crochets here, and here as well we have done our total 8 single crochets plus chain 1 here. And now we are going to insert our hook into your first chain and we'll make a slip stitch here. That's it. Now into the same stitch we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn and make a half double crochet. Again, yarn over and insert your hook into the same stitch and make your second half double crochet. Now into the second stitch you're going to leave the second stitch, you're not going to do anything into the second stitch, and into the third stitch yarn over and insert your hook and make a half double crochet here. Another time, so you're going to do 2 half double crochets there. Now each stitch you're going to do 2 half double crochets and the one you're going to leave. So into the first stitch we have done 2 half double crochets, then we left the second one, and into the third we have done our 2 half double crochets. Now we are going to leave the 4. Now the fourth stitch is your chain, so you're going to leave this fourth stitch, and into the fifth stitch, which is also your chain, you're going to yarn over and going to do 2 half double crochet into the same one. But remember, you're simply not going to put your hook inside this one because that will make these 2 chains together. So insert your hook into the chain. Now you can see a now you can see a V here, and there is a back portion of this V. There will be a strain as well, a strain of yarn as well. So we are going to insert our hook into that 2 V's like this, and that's it. And your one strain of yarn is at the back like this. Now here you grab your yarn and make a half double crochet here. Another time, yarn over, insert your stitch into the same way and make a half double crochet. So by doing this, we have skipped the chain 1 here. We have skipped this chain and we have done our work into that second chain. Now leave this next stitch, and into this stitch we are going to do our 2 half double crochets. So that's 1 half double crochet, and that's our second half double crochet. Okay, now into the next stitch we're going to leave this stitch again and we're going to insert our hook into this stitch. Now remember, this is our chain 1. When we were tying up this whole circle, we have chained up here, and this is your chain 1. So yarn over and make a half double crochet, and another time yarn over and make your half double crochet into the same chain. That's your 2 half double crochets. Now you're going to leave this stitch and you're going to insert your hook into this second stitch and going to do another 2 half double crochets, and keep on doing this half double crochets into first stitch, and then leave the second stitch and then half double crochet into the next stitch, then leave 1 space and do your half double crochets, and you're going to end up having 18 half double crochets here. So all the way around you're going to have 18 half double crochets, and I'm going to meet you here for your round 3. Okay, so I have done my 18 stitches here. Now I'm gonna take out my this stitch marker. Now I've made my stitch marker here, so that one was my first stitch. Putting our hook inside into this first stitch, we are going to put our hook into our second stitch. So remember, we are going to leave these 2 stitches here, so do not work on these 2 stitches. Now this one is the requirement of the design, that's why we are leaving this stitch, and this one we are leaving this stitch because we want to give the height to our project, and that's why we are going to insert our hook into the second stitch. Of course, we have to tie our this entire row. So insert your hook into that second stitch, grab your yarn and make a slip stitch here, and by doing this we have tied up our work. Now as we have done it before, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, the second stitch where you have started doing your where you have done your slip stitch. So yarn over and insert your hook into the same stitch and do your first half double crochet, and yarn over and do your half double crochet, the second half double crochet into the same stitch. So as this is our second stitch, I'm going to insert my stitch marker into that second stitch. Now remember, not into the first stitch, into the second stitch. I'm going to do this second stitch. Now leave this stitch, the second stitch, and into the third stitch, as we have done it before, do 2 half double crochets. Again. Now again, leave the next stitch and do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And now we are gonna do the same thing on this round 3. Leave your next space, next stitch, and do 2 half double crochets together into the next stitch. Then again, leave the next stitch and into the next stitch do 2 half double crochets. Leave the next stitch and then do 2 half double crochets into your next stitch, and you're gonna do 18 half double crochets altogether, the set of 9, and you're gonna end up here, and you're gonna leave these two stitches, and then you're gonna do your next starting, you're gonna make a slip stitch into this stitch where we have made our stitch marker, and we are gonna start doing our next round from here, the same stitch. So let's do 2 double crochets, and I'm gonna meet you after doing your 18 half double crochets and the 9 sets, and I'm gonna meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so at the end of round 3, I have already done my 18 half double crochets, 9 sets of a half double crochets, and this is my 18th half double crochet. Now if you can see, again, 2 stitch spaces are left, and we have to insert our hook into the space where we have made our stitch marker. This is our second stitch from the previous row. So insert your hook into this one, make a slip stitch, and do 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and then we're going to continue with the design, leaving 1 stitch, and then into the next stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So let's do that. I'm going to take this off and going to insert my hook into the same stitch. We'll make a slip stitch, and we have tied up our work. Yarn over and into the same stitch, 2 half double crochets, and yarn over into the same stitch, 2 half double crochets. Now I'm going to leave my next stitch and we'll do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and we'll leave my next stitch, and then we'll do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and that will be my end of round 4. 1 2 3, and that will be end of my round 4. And we need here 7 rounds. First round will be our single crochet, and then we started up a design. So from second round we have started up doing our designs, and for the design we need 6 more rounds. So the first round, which will be our basic round for single crochet, and then another 6 rounds. So in total we are gonna have 7 rounds, and after ending up my 7th round I'm gonna meet you here. Okay, so I've done my 7 rounds, and I'm gonna cut the yarn, and the bottom portion is ready. I've cut my yarn, and I'm gonna tie up this one, and I'm gonna turn my work, but later on, because we're gonna do this top portion as well. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, and we're gonna do our single crochets into the into this chain. So we're gonna have our 8 single crochets here. So into the second chain, do a single crochet, 1 2, that is my 8 single crochet. Now remember, we don't need to do chain 2 here. So after doing your 8 single crochets, again chain of 1 and insert your hook into your first chain from the second side and do another single crochets, and you're going to end up having another 8 single crochets on this side as well. Do not forget to chain of 1 when you are changing your side. Okay, so I've done my 8 single crochets on this way, then chain 1 and then another 8 single crochets on the other side, and into the first stitch I'm going to insert my hook and we'll make a slip stitch here, and we're going to repeat as what we have done here. We are going to end our work into the same stitch, and then we will start doing by doing 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So for second round, chain up, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch and do your half double crochet and do your second half double crochet into your same stitch, then leave the next stitch and then do 2 half double crochets, and then as we have done it before, you're going to end up having your 9 sets of half double crochets, 2 half double crochets. So in total you're going to have 18 half double crochets, and you're going to insert your hook into the second stitch. Now if you cannot remember, this is my second stitch and I'm going to insert my stitch marker there so that I will remember this is my second stitch. I will insert my hook while I'll finish this. I'll insert my hook into that second stitch, we'll make a slip stitch there, and then again 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and we are gonna need 3 rows here. So one row will be our single crochet, second row will be our design as we have started up here, and then the one more row for this one, and that's it. We're going to end up there. Okay, so I have done my 3 rows. I've made the slip stitch and I'm gonna cut the yarn. Now remember to leave a longer tail because we are gonna tie up these 2 projects here. So we're gonna tie up 2 projects here. And again, let me remind you that this is the back portion of your work. Your front portion is this. This is your front portion. So we are working here. So let's cut the yarn. Insert your yarn into the needle. Take both your product. Now this is the back portion of my project and this is the back portion of my project, and I'm going to tie up here. Now remember we have 18 stitches altogether, and we're going to tie up 9 stitches together. Only these 2 parts. We're going to tie up 8 stitches together. So here I'm going to insert my needle like this, and I will insert my needle here, and I'm going to secure these 2 projects together. And remember to tie up 8 stitches together. Leave the 10 stitches, so that 10 stitches will be the space for your project here. So do your 8 stitches, tie up your 8 stitches together. I'm gonna meet you after doing my 8 stitches. Then I will put my loose end inside, like this one. I'm gonna put everything inside and then we'll meet you after that. Okay, so I have tied up my loose ends in this one, and this is how it's look. Now let's turn the work. So this one, and this is how it's gonna look. Now you can see that there is no flaws of design here at anywhere. The design goes on without any flaws. And let's insert this one. That's it. Your AirPod cover is ready. Okay, for the phone cover, now I have changed my hook. My hook will be now 3.5. The previous one I've done with the 3 mm. Now it is 3.5 mm. And I'm gonna do 15. Let's do a slip knot here and then have 15 chain. So chain of 15, 1, 2, 3. So this is 15 chain, and we're going to insert our hook into the next chain, and we'll do single crochets just as we have done it before. So 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets, and then we're going to end up having 14 single crochets, and I'm going to do single crochets on all chains, and I'm going to meet you here. Okay, my 14 single crochets are done. Now into this last stitch I'm going to do one more single crochet into the last stitch, and here I'm going to do another 14 single crochets. So start doing our 14 single crochets into the next side as well. Two single crochets and then another 12 single crochets, total 14 single crochets on this side. So I've done my 14 single crochets here. Then I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch, and we'll make a slip stitch here. And now we're going to start building up our design. So as we have done it before, into the same stitch where we have done our slip stitch, do 2 half double crochets, leave the next stitch, then do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, then leave 1 stitch, then do another 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, then leave 1 stitch, and then 2 half double crochets, and we are going to do our half double crochets, and we're going to end up having 30 half double crochets. So it's going to be 15 sets of half double crochets and total stitches. And then for the next row we're gonna insert our hook into the second stitch. So this is my 2 stitch. I'm gonna insert my stitch marker there. So this is my second stitch. Now from there onwards we're gonna insert our hook into the second stitch, and we'll make a slip stitch there, and then 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and 20 rows here. Now this length is for 20 rows. I also would like to tell you that please measure up your phone and do your rows plus or minus according to your phone size. My one will go for this 20 rows. If your phone is bigger enough, please go ahead and add up your rows like 20, 24, whatever the size you want. Just add up that size, and for this one 20 rows I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna meet you after that.